Welcome back to the Triathlon channel. In this episode we're going to be looking at nutrition. I've just received a new order for my nutrition, and I thought it's a good time now to cover that. Also, as we're leading up to race season now, I'm going to talk about the benefits of using and trialing nutrition early on in the race season. What you don't want to do is get to a race and try nutrition for the first time, but also you don't want to be training on one particular brand of nutrition and then get to race and it's a completely different one for a number of reasons, but mainly because your body just might not agree with it, and then you could end up having stomach issues on the race, you could end up cramping, etc. So what I'm going to do today is talk to you about the nutrition I use, when I use it, and why I use it. But then also what I'm going to do is tell you about getting some good offers on the nutrition, partly why I've chosen the nutrition that I have chosen, which we'll cover back a bit later on. So to kick things off, what I've just received today is I've got some Science and Sports energy gels. So Science and Sports is the brand that agrees with me. I used it in the beginning. I tried a number of different brands, and it was really the Science and Sport ones that my body just agreed with, and I like the taste, and I think they cover everything that I need. So I've started a lot more recently, starting to up the usage on nutrition. So I'll give you an example. For today's ride, I had a 2.5 hour session on the turbo trainer, and I consumed 3 gels, and I had a beta fuel. So the beta fuel, they advise that anything over 2.5 hour session is when you would consume that. I also have this the night before race day as well, and then I'll have one the day of race day on half Ironman distance races. So that's on the beta fuel. The reason I had it for today was, one, because the session was 2.5 hours, but I did a run off the bike as well for just a 20-minute run, but it took the session over the 2.5 hours. But also, again, like I said in the beginning, it's about just getting your body used to the nutrition that you're using. So that's the reason I've gone with that. I've also got some caffeine and energy. So I use these mainly on my long runs. I've got a long run tomorrow of 1.5 hours, and I will take one of those gels with me, and I will take one of these. So just on the gels, and this again, it comes down to personal preference, but also getting your body used to the nutrition and the levels that you need. So they actually advise to consume up to 3 of these every hour. Now for me, that's a bit much. During a race, I'll probably have 2 an hour. Throughout, well, for the bike and the run, I'll have one, probably a caffeine one just before the swim. And then, like I say, I'll have a couple of these on the run, and then on the bike, I'm probably going through maybe between 4 and 6, just depending. So some other nutrition that I use is the Go Electrolyte. Love this stuff. I love the flavor. So the tropical flavor for me is just brilliant, and I'll use that on pretty much most of my rides. Anything over 1 hour, I will tend to use the electrolyte stuff. I don't use any gels on rides up to 1 hour and under 2 hours. I just tend to stick to the isotonic. Then I did buy some creatine. I'll be honest with you, I've probably used it twice and never again. I find it gives me headaches. It could just be a coincidence, but I suffer with migraines anyway, so I just find that gives me a bit of a headache, and I drink loads of water, so I don't think it's dehydration side of things. It's just, it doesn't agree with me, so I have got that. Then just some different vitamins that I use. So I'm using omega-3. I've got a daily vitamin, zinc and magnesium, that I take just before 1 hour before bedtime, and vitamin D3. So just a mixture, mainly all related to the immune system. So your immune system gets better during training and racing. So those sort of top up the levels. And the zinc and magnesium, I'm really finding helping me sleep a lot better as well, which obviously aids recovery. So that's really a win. In terms of where I get it from, I really mix this up, and this is what I'll cover a little bit later on. Is at the moment, as you can see, everything is from My Protein, and that's because of a deal that I got. I do mix and match between My Protein and Science and Sport, but I'll come on to that a little bit later. I wanted to share with you something else that I wouldn't say it's so much a gimmick. Some people might not agree with me, but for me, they launched a Turbo Plus. So it's designed for indoor training, and it's got menthol in. It's a really different flavor. You kind of swish it around your mouth for 30 seconds before swallowing. Obviously the menthol then makes, it's a cooling effect. So you do get, it feels like you're getting a cooler internally. And I've used it, I'm nearly at the end of it now, and I probably wouldn't get it again because the other stuff probably does the same. I felt no different by using this one, but it is there, it's an option. Like I say, the taste, it's different mainly because of the menthol, and you swirling it around in your mouth, which is nice because it cools you down. But again, I think I'll leave that up to you to decide. But for me, there's no real difference to any other part of the nutrient. I don't feel any added value. So another bit I want to share with you just on the nutrition. So a lot of companies, they tend to send you out some high five nutrition samples when you order stuff. So I'll give you an example, the Huxin gear that I wear, they've sent out an energy drink from High Five with every order. I don't particularly like this. The taste for me isn't great. I find it awful, to be honest, and also I just don't think it agrees with my body. So I always take stomach issues when I use High Five. So that's why I say to you, it's personal preference, and you've got to try a few. And this is one of the ways that you can try it, is if you're buying something, you get a sample, then that's great, you can try it. You also find High Fives at quite a few of the races, more of maybe the local UK triathlon related races. But try it, it might agree with you. It is, I think, slightly cheaper, but for me, when it comes for the price, it's not really relevant to me on nutrition. I'd rather get the added benefits. So what I want to now talk to you about is the discounts and different ways that you can save money. So if you watch the introduction to the channel, my first video, I spoke about how I'm going to help you with some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years in terms of saving money on races and training, and this is one of them. So why I think I really enjoy Science and Sports as well is they constantly have offers. So there's really strong offerings where they'll do anything from 40%, 50%. But on top of that, then if you look on Instagram, Facebook, you'll be able to find some ambassadors, and you can get additional discounts. So you can use their discount code, and most of the time I think it's about 15%. Now you can only use their discount code if the price on the website is automatically discounted. And when I say automatically, so the current offer with Science and Sport is 40% off, but you use a code, so I think it's winter40. Then you couldn't use the ambassador code as well. But sometimes they do either a clearance sale, or they do a discount where everything's half price, as an example, but there's no discount code required. They just automatically discount the price. You can then use the ambassador code on top of that. So in effect, you're getting 65% off. So that's a great way, and that's when those offers come on, I really stock up on everything because it ultimately saves in the long run. Another great thing, and I recommend it as well, is signing up to the premium delivery. So it's £9.99 or £9.99, and it's a year's worth of next day delivery. So it's regardless on the order spend, you can get one gel and you get next day delivery on it. So instead of having to make a basket of over £35 to get free delivery, if you're only wanting perhaps, I don't know, 6 gels, then you don't have to spend more to get up to the 35, or you don't have to waste £5 on the postage. So for me, I think that's a great way of saving, and something I use very often, obviously, because when they have deals, sometimes they only do deals on gels. I just need to buy a box of 6 and I get next day delivery. What they also do, and a lot of companies do it, which is worth looking into, is join their groups on Strava, and they'll do different campaigns throughout the year where you get free gels or free protein, free bars and this is from all different companies. So it's a great way to try new brands without having to buy them. You're going to go for that run anyway, so join in the challenge and get them for free. Some of the times you just have to pay postage on the thing. So Tribe recently did one on some protein bars, which I did. I think it was do a 10k run, and you got some sample Tribe bars. You just had to pay for postage, so it was £1.50 for postage, and I got three different bars, which they were great. And I think that will be something from a nutritional bar point of view that I'll definitely be using now, because I like the taste, I like the texture. So that was a win for me, but I suppose a win for them as well, because they brought in a customer that way where I probably wouldn't have just gone out of my way to try them anyway. So that's a great way. Look out for those on Strava. And I'll have a look, and I'll put some links on if there are any running at the moment where you can join up. But definitely it's free. You might as well do it if you're on Strava. If you're not on Strava, get on Strava just to get those. So that's a great little tip to get them. Look out for those ambassador codes. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I will. There's an ambassador code that I use all the time. I will share it, and hopefully that will then be able to give you a bit of discount. There's also I think it's fairly new with Science Sport, because I keep getting emails with them, is if I refer a friend or family member, they get 10 free gels on their first order, which is worth £15, and I get £5 credits. So I'll share the link. If you want to use that, then feel free. You'll get 10 free gels. I'll get £5, which is great. So I appreciate if you did. And then what you can do is then share your code with your friends and family, and then you'll get the £5 and they'll get the gels, and we can just roll it on like that. So everyone hopefully is winning out of that. But again, like I say, it's an opportunity. If you want to maybe try out some of the protein, you're going to get some gels, so you could try the gels for free anyway. So hopefully that tip works. Then at the moment, I've just recently got a big bag of protein from My Protein. The reason I did that, normally I use the Rego protein from Science and Sport when it's on offer. This was again a great offer. Like I said in the beginning, I bounce between the two depending on where the offers are. So My Protein, they were doing a 50% sale, and then I use Quidco cashback as well. So I then got I think 10% cashback on that. At the time they were running that campaign. So rarely I got 60% off. So it worked out a lot cheaper than the Science and Sport. In terms of flavoring, it's brilliant, and I love it. So it worked. I like both equally. And in terms of nutritional value, they're pretty much coming in at the same. The Rego's got a bit more from a carbohydrate point of view, but for me really it's just about the protein and just sort of getting the muscles replenished after a session. So like I say, I bounce between the two, so I'd look at those. I'll put down, if you don't know about Quidco, I'll put a link on there as well. Have a look, but that'll go on to other things as well where you get money back as well, which is great. So as long as you use their link, you're going to get some money back, and I use that for my trainers and a lot of the race gear, but even sometimes so Wiggle, for an example, on there, and when I bought my wheels on my previous bike, I got cash back on there. So it all adds up, and that goes then into the race pot. So those are one of the tips that I use to try and drum up some extra money, and that all goes into, I'm saving on the nutrition, getting money back, which is going into the race pot. So another one that I do really recommend and love, I don't have any on me at the moment, is For Goodness Shakes. Now, I used them when I was in the military, and it's just from a carbohydrate point of view, it's very high in carbohydrates and protein, so it's brilliant for recovery. And a lot of the time they'll do £1. It's actually a ready to drink one, so when they go down to £1, I bulk buy them in. They're either from Amazon, from Wiggle, but then Asda and Tesco's, they do £1 as well. So between the four shops, you're more than likely guaranteed to get a £1 deal. And at £1, I think it's brilliant value. They're great tasting, and like I said, they're ready to drink as well. So you just have them, so whether you're in the car or traveling. I used to use them a lot when I was traveling with work. So they were very good, and like I said, £1, it's even better. So hopefully that helped you. There's a lot on nutrition, and I know it can be very overwhelming in the beginning with what to get, what to use, why, when not to use it, etc. So drop in the comments any questions you might have on nutrition. Like I say, it is trial and error. Find what works for you. This is what works for me. If there's any other questions you want to know in more detail, or more specifically when I use it and how much I'm using it, but I think I kind of covered the main bulk of how I use my nutrition. Like I say, it varies depending on the weather as well, what session I'm doing, etc. But like I say, let me know. I'd also be interested to see your thoughts on it. So if you've got any tips for me, please share them in the comments. Let me know, is there any other brands out there that you really like or dislike even? If you don't agree with me with the science and sports side of things, then let me know. But like I say, it works for me. Find what works for you. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully you can save some money doing it that way as well, with the few tips that I've mentioned. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks for watching.